Good evening, everybody. I'm here to do another tier list. Today I'm doing the Dark Souls 3 bosses tier list, from how hard they are to how easy they are. So, starting off here, we have the Abyss Watchers. They're pretty tough, but honestly, I would just say a fun challenge. Because if you know their moves, and if you take advantage of the third red-eyed one who attacks the other ones, you can do it pretty easily. Aldrich is honestly pretty tough. He's got the move that follows you, that rains arrows, and he's got the piercing arrows. It's a bit much, honestly. The Ancient Wyvern is a easy victory if you know what to do. You can just run around the stage and then one hit him. Champion Gundyr is pretty tough. He's got just very fast attacks, not much time to ready up for those, but he is an endgame boss, so that makes sense. The Great Wolf is a fun challenge. You can pretty much easily get under him and then, deal damage to him from there, but if you haven't fought Sif or something before, then he would be pretty difficult. Crystal Sage is a fair fight. Crystal Sage is only difficult for his shadow clone jutsu that he does, but you can just tell which magic is his by the purple versus blue. The Curse-Rotted Greatwood is honestly an easy victory. If you just hit the little nodules and don't get body slam, pretty much you'll be fine. The Dancer is pretty tough, especially when she does her whole sweeping move. If you aren't constantly dodging there and you try to get greedy and do a hit, you're gonna die. Dark Midir is very hard. Dark Midir might be the hardest boss, honestly, out of all of these. Maybe only contested by Slave Knight Gayle. The Deacons of the Deep are next, and honestly, I don't even consider these guys to be an enemy. I could do these with my eyes closed. I could do these asleep. I mean, I could probably give a worm a controller and it would be able to do these. The Deacons of the Deep are so easy. The Demon Prince is honestly pretty tough. Especially when his second phase activates and he just speeds up everything. It can become pretty overwhelming, honestly. Dragon Slayer armor is a fun challenge. It's a human enemy, and he's got decently slow attacks that you can pretty much foresee everything. The Half-Light is an easy victory, honestly, for me. I mean, you just kind of kill the small one, and then you got to do the big dude, but even the big dude's not too difficult. Ludix Gundyr, he's probably, I would say he's about with the Crystal Sage. He's a fair fight, especially for when you fight him, which is at the start of the game. Lothric and Lorien are pretty tough, but they are easily cheesable, and they have some pretty telegraphed attacks. The Nameless King is... Oh, I forgot about him. He would actually probably be very hard, because he's got that dragon that he rides for the first half, and then on the second half, he's just got constantly hitting you. Like, you can barely get a word in edgewise, honestly. Osiris is a fair fight. He's not too bad. His only real attacks are just rushing you, which aren't too bad. The Old Demon King, I really like the Old Demon King fight, especially if you get the Swamp Summon. I would say he was a fair fight too. He's kind of like Osiris, where he doesn't have too many bad attacks. Pontiff Sullivan is a fun challenge. I always love fighting Pontiff Sullivan, and he's got a really great lead up to his boss room. Sister Freed is extremely hard. However, I wouldn't say as hard as Dark Midir, but she's honestly probably just about as hard as the Nameless King. Slave Knight Gayle, I take back what I said earlier. I would say Slave Knight Gayle is probably only pretty tough. He's borderline, though. He could very easily be considered very hard, but I would say for what his attacks are and for who he's being compared to up here, Slave Knight Gayle is probably only a pretty tough. Soul of Cinder is a fun challenge as well. I always love the Soul of Cinder fight. His really only bad attack is the one where he baits you into the area of damage, but that's not too bad. Vort is an easy victory always, and that's just because he's, early game. High Lord Wolnir is barely an enemy. I mean, he's just got, two spots that you can really finish them off in 30 seconds if you wanted to. And Yorm the Giant is a personal favorite fight, but he is honestly barely an enemy, because if you have Siegfried and you have the Stormbreaker, he's not going to be able to do anything. He takes like 5 hits and he's done. So that is going to do it for my Dark Souls 3 bosses tier list video. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, leave it a dislike. And I'll see you guys on the flippy flop. Have a good one.